Alright, welcome to my post-mortem look at Madworld for the Nintendo Wii. This is a game developed by Platinum Games, formerly known as Clover, a division of Capcom. They created games such as Okami, and a similar style game called God Hand. This is actually sort of like I wouldn't call it a spiritual successor to God Hand, but it has sort of like the same style, sense of humor and things like that. Not quite as crass a sense of humor, as far as exploiting things like homosexuals and things like that. But, for example, well, I guess, yeah, never mind. I take that back. It does have a really flamboyant character in the second level. Alright, I'm just going to jump right in here. This is a beat 'em up through and through. All you do is just run around and kick the crap out of guys. You literally just go from level to level and just find as many ways throughout the level to kill the guys as possible. There's not much more strategy to it than that, folks. It's pretty simple. Pick up and play game. The soundtrack's great. It's all hip-hop, like originally made for the game, so like it fits the theme of the game perfectly, and each level has its own unique song. The sound effects are fit accordingly. The voices, the announcers are hilarious at times. Excuse me, though they get old after a while, so you may want to turn them down. It's Greg Proops and John DiMaggio, two comedians. Greg Proops, you probably know him from Whose Line Is It Anyway? And alright, so basically you just get in here, Jew the dude. You can see I'm ranked #1 because I've beaten the game. That's why this is a post-mortem, folks, because I've beaten the crap out of the game. I'm just going to go ahead and skip that, but that's one of the weapons you unlock after you beat the game. I'm going to spoil it for you. So anyway, you can see we walk up here to a flaming barrel, and shove the guy into it. I get points for killing him, and then I can take this barrel, slam it on that guy, pick up that guy, and then break his back. Or I can pick up this guy, headbutt him a couple times, stun him, run over to this conveniently open bloody dumpster, and just toss him right in. Boom, slap. Oh, that was so awesome, yet so gruesome. Alright, so, and you see, getting that unlocked to Spiked Bat as a weapon that I can use to further pummel and punish guys for even having, a name or a breath. So basically, that's it. You've just seen the entire crux of the game. You just run around and cause as much havoc as possible in as many creative ways as possible, and you basically just tear guys limb from limb, sometimes literally, and it amounts to actually a lot of fun, and it can get a little stale. That's why you probably shouldn't play it, religiously, like just relentlessly for hours on end, because there's only so many ways that they could have implemented kills in this game, to be honest. I mean, and you'll see them all, repeatedly throughout the level. There's only so many things throughout the level. Like, this is actually one of the less common ones. Is you just take the guy and throw him off into the fucking bay over there, or whatever it is. You can see the visuals I think they're pretty outstanding, actually. They gave the game its own unique visual style because, knowing that the system isn't HD, it has to have some sort of hook or something to stand out, and this one definitely does. Borrows from Frank Miller comics and that kind of thing, and it really has its own flair, and it really pieces together nicely. It doesn't support progressive scan, unfortunately. That just unlocked the minigame, me getting all the points. It doesn't support progressive scan, but it does support widescreen, as you can tell, and it looks really good on an HD TV regardless of the progressive scan not being supported. It supports ProLogic 2 surround. It has pretty good sound accuracy, like surround channel accuracy. You can see, like, you have a secondary move with each weapon. You can take this bat, for example, and beat guys with it. This is your main weapon, by the way. I haven't been using it yet, but you have a chainsaw built into the little arm, your sleeve, basically. And you can just hold down the B trigger and you pull it out, and then you slash downward like that. Or you can slash across way like that, and it'll do your move accordingly. Same thing with uppercut. You just motion upward with the Wii remote, and then you can do a hook. You just motion sideways like that. You can actually combine the two. You uppercut them and then punch them. And, you can do little combos and things like that. And it's pretty cool. I mean, it works really well. You double tap the stick and you can run. I'm going to go do the minigame right now. At the beginning of each minigame, you'll be instructed on how to do it with these little hilarious cutscenes. And I think they're pretty funny. They actually, do a good job of showing you what to do, although I'm not going to spoil it for you right now. This one right now, basically, it's pretty self-explanatory. You can just look at it and tell what I'm supposed to do. You just run up to it and, just pick up the guys and throw them into this big contraption, and basically, you'll see in a second, smash, and you'll see like a big the blood actually starts like pooling up, and like you can actually like go down and slosh in it and stuff. It's kind of nauseating because you can see like pieces of guys falling from it and stuff. But you know, this game is way over the top, and it's not realistic in any aspect. It can get kind of gross at times because, you know, some of the kills are actually pretty gruesome. But, you know, all in all, it's definitely not for kids. It's definitely not for anyone under 17, in my opinion. It's really, really violent, and as you can see, it's got some crass language and some just adult themes altogether and stuff that just doesn't need to be, you know, seen by the younger kiddies. But, you know, they're gonna play it regardless. This game was made by, again, Platinum Games, formerly Clover, and it's funny because it actually came out on the same day as Resident Evil 5, and it had some key members of Resident Evil 14. One of them was Shinji Mikami, one of the directors, or the director of Resident Evil 4, sorry, the director of Resident Evil 4, but, so it came out on the same day as Resident Evil 5. Didn't fare quite as well in sales, actually didn't fare nearly as well in sales, but, you know, I mean, look at the game, you can tell it's gonna kind of have its own audience, you know. I mean, it's one of those games that probably wouldn't sell well on any system, but, you know, it really does deserve it. I mean, this game has a lot of care put into it and a lot of time taken with everything, and it's not really glitchy. I mean, there's a lock-on system that's kind of, you know, hit or miss. So you can see here, it locks onto his head, and it works for the most part, but it's dodgy when you're doing it with guys because you have to hold the C button, and instead of just, you know, like No More Heroes where you just lock on like just by holding the Z trigger or something like that. It probably would have worked better, but, you know, it works for what it is. It works better on boss battles probably because you know, you just lock it on one guy at a time, and you know. Alright, so let's see if I can unlock another one here. You see, it keeps track of your stats too. My all-time high score was 23 bodies. I just smashed 15. So, I didn't do too hot compared to my normal, or compared to my high score. But, yeah, as far as the story goes, it's written by the guy that did several Final Fantasy games, and his stories are always very politically heavy and heavily involved, and very heavy-handed in tone, and this is no different. This game, although it seems lighthearted with all the over-the-top violence and the announcers and whatnot, the story is actually very serious in tone, and it's actually really well written, and the voice acting is actually top-notch as well. So, you know, I would definitely recommend at least renting the game just to see the story, because it's actually something that I think you should watch. And the actual gameplay is addictive as anything, and it's actually a lot of fun. I know it can look a little repetitive here because I'm only in the second level, but you know, throughout more of the levels, you get more variety, wide variety of kills, I should say, because the levels get bigger as you go along, and it only gets even more gruesome. You know, like there's oh gosh, there's all kinds of things you can do to guys in this game. It's just really, it's amazing. The minds at work here that are not institutionalized at this point. For example, this 2, not 3, but 4 slams. I think that's enough. You know, I think the guy's dead after probably one gigantic spike impaling him. But, no, I guess they didn't feel that way. They can back up and just throw them on it. And you can make like a big mural of, you know, of death here. I just got 2 guys with 1 throw. And that's part of the game. You want to actually take out multiple guys with 1 swipe, if you will. And, oh, that's Man Darts. Man Darts is it's a hilarious little mini-game. I love it. Basically, you just go up here and it gives you a bat, and the whole point is to slam guys with the bat into the bullseye, and you just rack up points. Again, it shows you how to do it with a cutscene, and then you just you know, hold down the B trigger, and then wait for them to come up into your range, and then swing away. Boom! Splat! I love the little sound effects written out for you now. I'm on a PSA. That's pretty funny. But here you go. Oh, I can't seem to get a bullseye, but that's the whole point of it. And you know, the game just gets crazier from here on out. I mean, it really does, you know, just take a life of its own. And the replayability is pretty high. It has a multiplayer mode that's not, you know, super involved, but you can play the mini games like this Man Darts right here with a buddy of yours, and you know, it's kind of fun just to sit there and, oh, I got a bullseye with 2 guys. But you can sit there and, you know, like, you just fart around with a friend of yours and just you know, have some fun, smacking guys into whatever. But yeah, so you know, give Madworld a try if you haven't already. Shame on you, honestly, because it's a gorgeous game, and it's a lot of fun. So I highly recommend it. The motion controls are implemented extremely well. And definitely, it's one of the better games on the Wii. Please go out and buy it. I highly recommend that you buy it, because it's really an experience unlike any other on any console right now, and it's definitely worth a look. So, hope you enjoyed this. I've enjoyed bringing it to you, and I will see you next time, and have a good day.